we can fuel internet with our, we can fuel ThreeFold with our freedom insights, and ThreeFold can fuel us with giving us more opportunity to bring more people to be free. So freedom, empowerment. So this is one of my favorite quotes. The only way to deal with an absolute unfree world is to become so free inside that your very existence is an act of rebellion. So people who know me know that I had a long healing journey, and actually my healing journey has been my journey to freedom. So I'm going to share my experience, and I hope that you can get like a few inspiration, a few things you think, oh, maybe I can do this too. So the whole suffering was not for nothing. So actually, even when I was very young, I had already in my mind, what is the meaning of life? When I graduated, I remember going to a bar with a friend and saying, but what is the meaning of life? I'm a lawyer, I can earn my money by an hourly rate, spend it, and that's it. That's life. So I didn't find my purpose. I wasn't competitive. I was very happy when I saw other people happy. And of course, I had material aspirations to have a home, but I didn't have real material aspirations. The only thing I didn't support was a rigid system. So I was extremely sensitive and I wanted absolute freedom. But actually I didn't know what it meant to be actually completely free. So I started to look for solutions in the outside world. I started as a lawyer. I thought, okay, this is going to be it, this is going to be it. I'm going to be a corporate lawyer doing M&A with these big deals because I worked for a big law firm. Actually, I found it a little bit boring. Everybody with his big ego on the table, like, I have a deal of 10 million, I have a deal of 1 million. But what was the difference? At the end, it was always the same. It was numbers, the difference of numbers, but the deal was always the same. I said, okay, this is not really what I look for. So maybe if I go and work for a company, I can align myself with the purpose of the company, I will be more happy. So I changed and I went to work for Alcatel Lucent at that time. I found a little bit more like a sense of purpose, but I was writing hours and hours of contracts and I was negotiating with so much purpose and so much fire. And then after we signed the deal, it went into the drawing and nobody cared. And I was like to all the engineers, look, I have this super, absolutely amazing bonus system. If you do well, you get points. If you do bad, you lose points. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. So I said, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? So I said, you know what, if I go and study an MBA, I start my own company, then I'm going to be happy. So I went to study an MBA, I had a whole plan how to start my own company. I started traveling, I started moving from one place to the other, and I was doing so much, but at the end of the day, I couldn't find a connection, I couldn't find peace. So time to get married. Everyone was 30, 35, everyone was having these perfect husbands. And it's like, but I don't know which husband I want. I don't know if I want kids. What do I do? So I said, okay, this is not going to make me happy. I started traveling more and more, doing more, and then I was completely exhausted. And then of course, when your system is completely out of balance, you get sick. So there it was, Lyme disease. So what is Lyme disease? Lyme disease is actually a very intelligent creature which lives up in your body, and it's a complete attack on your whole body, on your mind, body and spirit, because it gives you so much fatigue, gives you so much fever, that it's very difficult to think, it's very difficult to be happy. So it was complete exhaustion for me. The whole journey into my freedom took me 10 years. But of course, in order to understand I had Lyme disease, as most of you know, it's horror. So it took me more than 3 years. I go one doctor to the other, another test and another test, and yes, another doctor is saying, but no, you are completely overworked. No, it's in your mind. No, you're not sick. No, you want to abuse the system. Me abusing the system? I'm working very hard. Why should I abuse the system? anyway, they all had their own ID, and in Belgium, actually, it's very, very difficult, and it's also very painful because these doctors, they really laugh with you. So many classical doctors I went to, they were all like, you're really playing it. And actually, this was 10 years ago, so now people understand a little bit what Lyme disease is, but 10 years ago, nobody understood. So after 3 years, and then I met Christophe already, they finally discovered it was a Lyme bacteria in my body. So I said to this doctor, okay, is it a bacteria or a virus? And the doctor said, it's a bacteria. I said, oh, that's good. I take a course of antibiotics, it's that, and I'm fine again. But this was not exactly how it went. So because nobody knew actually, and he said, yeah, but you know what, instead of taking a course, let's do intravenous antibiotics. So I did first 6 weeks of intravenous antibiotics. I think it's still there, let's do another course. So I ended up doing 2 years of intravenous antibiotics. And I completely was out of balance, but really completely out of balance. Everything collapsed. And I remember calling the doctor, I said, look, I'm so bad, I can't get up, I can't think, I can't walk from here to there, I can't get out of bed. What is now? What are we going to do now? And his doctor said to me, you know what, take some vitamin C. I said, what? Take some vitamin C. At that point, I realized he didn't have any clue what he was doing with me. I was like, how is this possible? Someone treating you and don't have a clue, you're mixing up a complete system and then leaving you nearly dead? So I had to give up the classical medicine. This was for one thing for sure. So, and then what did I do? First, I really was depressed. I said, okay, what do I do? I said, okay, I can't trust a doctor. There is no cure. The classical medicine doesn't give me any solution, so this is my life. How can this be my life? And then, then after a while, I was in Egypt. I said, oh, you know what? I don't want it anymore. Actually, I want to stop. And then I started looking what it meant to stop your life and what it meant to go on euthanasia. So I said, okay, if I do this, I need to understand it. So I was looking for hours and hours on the internet. I was looking to all these nurses. What do they say about dying? How does it feel? What happens after life? Is there still, you are going to be punished? Because I was so afraid of getting punished. So, but in my way of looking for it, I actually found a book called Dying to Me, Anita Moriana, and she was a woman who was full of cancer in Singapore, and she died. She understood that why she got sick. She understood it was not her time to die, and she came back in her body, and after 2 weeks, all her cancer was gone. And I thought, if she can do it, maybe I can do it. So, and then I started thinking more, what can I do? Because the classical medicine we cannot do. So maybe we have to go to something else. So I started looking then for more alternative solutions. And I came to a hospital in Switzerland. So the old way I had to completely give up. And I said, okay, I have to take my power back. I have to start listening to my body, because if someone completely poisons your body and you accept it, what are you accepting as a human being? You're accepting someone poisoning your mind, poisoning your body. So I said, no, this is not the way. So actually, the whole process made me think, going inside. And then I understood, but actually, the only freedom I need, and the only freedom I was looking for, is freedom inside. And I need to listen to myself if I want to get healed. So I started to go to Switzerland. We had all natural approaches. In the beginning it was very, very hard. Christophe, he was like my angel, because he went every day with me to the doctor and listening to what the doctors were saying. It was 6 weeks every day, 1 hour with the doctor. And it took me two years to go there, and it was like, we were still battling, because I was like, I'm going to stop. I said, no, I cannot stop, please do this, please do this. And then we did herbs, I worked with the mind. But even after 2 years and having so much infusions again and so much treatments, there was something missing. There was still the doctor telling me, you do this. And of course I understood this is a better way, but still it was a way where the doctor was telling me what to do. And my biggest problem, and Ragab knows because he supported me along the way, was I couldn't digest. They completely killed my system, and my belly was so painful, and everything I ate would go immediately out of my body. It was so painful. And no doctor could tell me what's wrong with my belly. So I was looking also, every day I was looking, what does it mean energy? What does it mean to be an energy healing? What does it mean to tap into the energy of someone else? So I contacted a girl or a woman in America, and she had a kind of a Kundalini awakening, so that means that you are clairaudient, clairvoyant, you can see people on a distance, you can hear the intestines of the person. And she said, oh my God, your digestion system is working for 3-4%. Of course you cannot have any energy in your body. And then we came to the boat, and I bought goat cheese. So natural goat cheese with all the enzymes inside, and I ate it, and I got energy. It's like, wow, this is fun. So then I took a 9 months of period of only eating goat cheese. But all my inflammation went more down and down and down. And I started to have a little bit of energy, and I could go a little bit out. It's like, this was so much a relief. It's like, oh my God, I can do things in my life. And then I started working with energy healers, and they could tell me so many things which blocked me in my thinking patterns, things which came out of my emotions where I didn't have a clue, they were blocking me. And then I started thinking about all this, and I said, because of course I did years of therapy with psychologists, because they say if you're sick, it's all in your head. So I said, if it's in my head, I can change it. No worries, I can do it. But what they didn't tell me, there's a lot of subconsciousness in your body. So if it's in your subconscious, how do you know? So with the energy healing, it's step by step by step. I started to understand. So I received new levels of freedom in my life. So my approach to freedom was, I didn't make that plan at that moment. This is a plan for me. If someone asks me, how did you do it? Free your mind, free your emotions, free your body, and step in your spiritual power. Step in your, why do you live? Why are you here? What is your mission you want to accomplish in this life? So to free your mind, I love this one. This song is like, for me it's super, it's true. We are a product of mental slavery. Active mind, I'm sure Christoph told you a lot during the presentations, we only have a conscious mind of 5 to 10%. So this 5 to 10%, every 3 years I was looking into this 5 to 10, what's wrong? How can I not heal? How come? All the time. But actually it was all my subconscious which I had to change. So this is just a little bit of information. So if you have a baby, but there are no babies today, until the age of 2, you're completely operating in Delta. So you're completely connected with the source. You know everything. You're super intelligent. And then you look around, look at the whole world around you, and you learn by observing. You're observing energy of of your energy, and this baby takes all these energies and becomes a little person. And then from 2 till 6, it is theta, so it's more still very subconscious, because learning what you have to learn really by words would be impossible. So actually, it's a whole downloading of a program in this little creature. And then you have it. And then to access it, it's hard work. So, and if these little creatures, they are programmed, but we live in a society with, and I'm sure you heard this during the 2 days, where there is a lot of control and power, and you have the religion, and you have the internet, and you have the banks, and so much things which block your freedom, which block who you want to be, and you feel this. And if you're super sensitive, you don't want to have all these controls. You don't want to live in fear. As a child, I never wanted to look at the news. News? This is scary. Why don't they give me something positive? My sister was looking every day. Why don't you look at the news? I don't want to see the news. If you can't give me good news, I don't need to know the news. So one of the things is like, free your mind from conditioning, judgments, validation, protections, because then once you free your mind, you have your first step into freedom. So, and then you work on your mind, and you're so happy. Your emotions are there. Shit, this is a little bit more work to do. Because your mind is your first thing to go. But this is your second mind, so a lot of information is stored here. How can I access my belly? How can I access my emotions? First, you have to put this off, and then you need to start how to listen to your emotions. Because actually your emotions are your GPS of your system. You know the truth by the way you feel. And this is, even if you are very, very engineering and you don't believe too much about that and say, your feeling will not lie to you, ever. So learn how to understand, and then also it reflects in your body. You have sadness, your lungs will hurt a little bit if you go too far. If you wake up between 1 and 3 at night, you know you have pain in your lungs, and then you can think, why would I have sadness? Maybe I lost someone. Maybe I'm sad because someone's not accepting me. It's a whole journey into your own body emotions. After understanding, getting aware of your emotions, there comes acceptance. Once you accept, you really accept it, you can release it. Once you can release it, you can integrate it, and there becomes so much compassion. For example, if you, as a kid, you were bullied, you have a lot of resistance, someone telling you something not nice. But if you start to understand, and if you start to accept it, and then you start to integrate it, you will have a lot of compassion with someone who gets bullied. You will not reject it, but you will have your heart will open up for this person. So for the emotions, you have this clock where you can see when it's if you wake up in a certain hour and a night, you can see, okay, for example, this night I woke up between 1 and 3 and I ate potatoes. Sometimes I cannot eat potatoes, so I knew, my small intestine is not working very well. So we know our emotions, but then there is a second part about emotions. We have our masculine side and our feminine side. And this is also very important to balance this, because if you really want to be a balanced person, it is nice to have a drive to do things, but it's also nice to have the softness, the nurturing energy. If you have both sides in you, you are also having a nice, inside is outside. You will have a nice relationship with your partner, because if you are balanced, automatically he will balance, or he will or he disappears out of your life. So if you, for example, if you go to Dubai, the women are completely covered, they completely suppress the feminine energy. How can the masculine energy be in balance? One is suppressed and the other is like this. But even inside you, it's always a reflection from inside you. You will not be balanced. How can you have a healthy, free, happy life if you're not balanced? So this is actually something very important also for ThreeFold, where we can really combine the masculine and the feminine energy, because in this time of the year, in this time of the earth, it's very important we join masculine and feminine energy. The Dalai Lama said that he has the biggest aspirations for Europe, because the European women are best to do this. If the European women step into this balancing act, the European men follow, and we have a whole new world. And ThreeFold will be even more happy. So we know masculine, feminine, emotions, and then the biggest step and the most difficult step is to go from the head into the heart. So we understand everything, now we have to feel everything. Our kids are raised very intellectual. They go to school from 9 till 5 during the school, books, 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 books. What about emotions? What about intuition? What about meditation? What about yoga? What about the body? So the longest journey you will ever make is a journey from the head to the heart. And this is actually also the ThreeFold journey. We want to create freedom. If we want to send a message out in the world, it needs to be done with the heart. Because you cannot enforce something. It's like you invite people. If you're open, inviting, nurturing, people will come. Because it's a new energy. It's like a baby. If you say, no, 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 it's not going to be happy. It says, look, maybe you can do it like this. You invite it to do it, and it's happy. It starts to smile. Yeah, that's awakening. Brain, heart is awakening. So we have the mind, we have the emotions, and then the body. We completely lost our connection with our body. We think that our body brings our brain somewhere, but our body gives us so much messages. If you listen to your body when it whispers, you don't have to hear it scream. So for me, this is a very big thing. For me, it was screaming out loud. But if you just listen to the little signals, a lot of things can be already changed before you get sick. For example, my whole digestive system is completely still recovering. So I have a digestive system of a baby. So I put something in my mouth, the structure, the feeling, the smell, I know I can digest it or not. So sometimes I decide to ignore it and I have belly pain, but if I really follow this, then I know it's good or it's not bad. A baby or a child has exactly the same, but we say eat it. No, you have to eat it. And then we already at the age of 1, 2, we force it to do something against its body. This is not natural actually. We have pain in the neck, it's linked to your belly. You have pain in the feet, Christoph can do it. He can find like these little balls in my feet and he presses on it and it's linked to certain organs. And the emotions, of course, are absorbed in the body, so your lungs hurt. It means there is certain blockages of energy. Then it's sometimes good to go and find some help to release the energy before you get sick. So free your body, I think it's also very important if you want to really start the journey of completely freeing your mind, your emotions. Also to free your body is to start cleaning your body. What we eat, it's so important because your body, it's your temple. If you put something bad in it, it will reflect somewhere. So if you put nice vibration food which gives you energy, and still there is something wrong, you know, okay, I have to work on this. And then we know our body, we know our soul, we know our emotions. Then when you lose your mind, you will find your soul purpose. And Pablo Picasso said something super beautiful, I think. The meaning of life is to find your gift. And the purpose of life is to give it away. This I found a few weeks ago and I was very happy. And I spoke with this lady, she's Desda Zuckerman. She did 40 years of work on the aura of a person. So she has had 10,000 people. She investigated and she says every aura is different. It's a blueprint, it's like your hands. You have like, my hand is not your hand, but we all have hands. So everybody has an aura and you have different layers. And if your aura is really good, you have like 30 feet and 40 feet out. And then all these layers are linked. And every organ you have in your body is reflected in your aura. So people who can read aura, they know already immediately in which part there are problems. And this is at the end of the aura. It's like this little veil, but you also have to in your belly. Your belly says something, I don't like this too much. Maybe this situation, you have to go. But you also have it at the end of your aura. You take this, this situation is not safe for me. So it's reflected. And this I like, this is your soul. So everybody has a soul and everybody has a soul purpose. So maybe it sounds vague for some people, but if you look at people like Einstein, at people like Da Vinci, maybe a little bit like Christoph too, you have very